Coming to today's session, as we have already completed resolution of vectors, we are resolving vectors which are given in the figure. So I have drawn 4 different vectors a bar, b bar, c bar and d bar in the coordinate system xy. Now you should resolve those vectors into components. In order to resolve the vector into its components, every vector has 2 components. So simply you can draw one triangle. A bar is projecting some length along x-axis and as well as y-axis. You can draw one right angle triangle over there. Similarly, B bar is also making some angle theta 2 with y-axis. Remember, it is with y-axis. So I have considered this angle theta 2 and constructed one triangle. Similarly, C bar is making an angle with x-axis. So I'll drop one perpendicular here. This is one triangle. Similarly, D bar is making one triangle with respect to x and y axis. Now I have completed those triangles. Now for those triangles, identify which are opposite sides and which are adjacent sides. Okay, this is opposite side and this is opposite side. This is opposite side. This is opposite side, right? And what about adjacent side? Here it is adjacent side and this is adjacent side and this is adjacent side, and here this is adjacent side. Okay, now you have identified opposite and adjacent side. Now you can resolve those vectors into components. It's very simple. So a bar can be resolved into components like this. A bar can be resolved as adjacent component and horizontal component and vertical component. Horizontal component, it is represented with adjacent side, right? So this is written as magnitude of A into cos theta, right? And this is written as magnitude of A into sin theta, right? Similarly, vector B. A B bar, it can be resolved into 2 components. One component along x-axis, one component along y-axis and the other one along x-axis. Along x-axis, it is becoming adjacent side, right? This is adjacent side. As it is adjacent side, you should represent it with cos theta. So it is B cos theta. And along this, it is opposite side. This becomes B sin theta. Similarly, the third vector C bar. C bar is projecting some components along x-axis and y-axis. X-axis, it is adjacent side, so it can be written as C cos theta 3. I'm sorry, theta 3. And next, this is C sin theta 3. Okay, so I did not take here. This is theta 2. This is theta 2, and this is theta 1, and this is theta 1. Now coming to the fourth vector. Fourth vector, it is resolved into 2 components, one along x-axis and the other one along y-axis. Along y-axis, it is adjacent side. So this can be written as, this is written as D cos theta 4, and this is D sin theta 4. Okay, so I think now you have got clear idea how to resolve a vector into its components. So simply take that vector and identify the angle, and using that angle you can check which side, which is opposite and which is adjacent. Adjacent side should be always represented with cos theta, opposite is with sin theta. And using magnitude of the given vector, we can find out components of that given vector, just like how I have represented in this figure. Students, when we deal with vector quantities, it is that it will be given a vector as a bar is equal to some x I cap plus y j cap, and theta as some say 30 degrees, or angle may not be given to you even. So simply they will be giving you vector with components, right? What it is mentioned here, vector with components, right? This is one. Now there is the other way you can represent a vector, just like how we have seen it. That is case 2, where a vector, a magnitude will be given to you, like 4 units or 5 units or some any number. So generally magnitude of a, you can take it as a itself. So I am taking this as magnitude of a is equal to a, and angle considering it as say some 30 degrees. So there are two ways which you can represent a vector. The one where components will be given to you without magnitude and angle. So in this first case, we do not know angle. We do not know magnitude. Magnitude you do not know. Angle made by the vector you do not know. In the second case, we know magnitude and angle. X component we do not know. Y component we do not know. Right? So it is vice versa. If components of the vectors are given to you, you can find out magnitude and angle. If magnitude and angle are given to you, you can find out x component and y component. It's very simple technique. So how to find out magnitude here? Magnitude of a bar is equal to under root x square plus y square. Similarly, angle, it can be represented as tan theta is equal to y component divided by x component. Theta is equal to tan inverse of y divided by x. This gives you angle made by that vector with x-axis. In the second case, magnitude and angle both are known to you, but you do not know x component and you do not know y component. So how do you write x component? X component can be written as magnitude of a into cos theta. Y component can be written as magnitude of a into sin theta. Right? Magnitude of a is a, cos theta is this 30, just substituting. Right? These are called components of vectors. Now how can you write down this vector a bar? A bar can be written as x component, it is a cos theta I cap plus a sin theta j cap. So if magnitudes are given to you, magnitude of the vector and angle is given to you, you can find out the vector. If vector is given to you, you can find out its magnitude and as well as angle. The second way, it is nothing but called as this second way, it is simply known as resolution of vectors. Right? If a magnitude is known, you can resolve that vector into its components. Using resolution of vector components, vector into its components, let us solve one simple example. Now in this figure, you are being given a circle such that OA, OB, OC are the three vectors, and radius of the circle is given as R. R is the radius of the circle. So that means OA length, OA magnitude is equal to OB magnitude is equal to OC magnitude is equal to R, because R is radius of the vector. Magnitude of OA, OB, OC, length here is R, length here is also R, length here is also R. Okay. Now you need to find out the resultant of the vectors. In order to find out the resultant, what is meant by resultant? Resultant mean sum. You need to find out sum of those vectors. So how to find out sum of these vectors? Let me consider R bar, which is resultant of the vector. This resultant vector can be written as OA bar plus OB bar plus OC bar. resultant vector is OA bar plus OB bar plus OC bar. I need to find out individual vectors and I should add them so that you will be getting net resultant. First, let me write down what is OA and what is OB and what is OC. OA, see here from the figure, OA is along x-axis. How much length it is R, and x-axis it is represented with I cap. Unit vector along x-axis is I cap. So OA, simply I will write it as R I cap. Next, OB, forget about it, OB for some time. OB I will tell you how to write it. Now coming to OC. How do you write OC? OC is along y direction. What is length of OC? It is R. And what is its direction? It is J. Okay, that is OC. Now coming to OB vector. OB vector is neither along x-axis nor along y-axis. OB vector is in plane, right? Now this is OB. This is OB. Let me take this as OB. I can now write this vector into its components as 45, right? Angle is given as 45. So it is O and it is B. Now how do you write OB? OB can be simply written as OB is equal to, I can resolve this OB into components, right? One component along x-axis. It is R cos 45. And along y direction it is R sin 45. So OB is written as R cos 45 I cap plus R sin 45 J cap. Clear? OB is R cos 45 I cap plus R sin 45 J cap. Now OB is equal to R cos 45 is 1 by root 2 I cap plus R sin 45 is the same value 1 by root 2 J cap. Now OB is equal to R divided by root 2 into I cap plus J cap. This is OB vector. Now I can take this OB vector and I'll substitute that over here. So OB is equal to R by root 2 I cap plus R by root 2 J cap. Right? We have now got OA, OB and OC. I should now find out this R bar. R bar is equal to OA bar plus OB bar plus OC bar. So R bar is equal to, what is OA? R I cap plus, what is OB? R by root 2 I cap plus R by root 2 J cap plus, what is OC? It is R J cap. Now simply you can write R bar is equal to R I can take it common. It is 1 plus 1 by root 2 I cap plus. What about this J? Here we have R. I can take it common. 1 plus 1 by root 2 J. This is R. Vector R. That is the resultant vector. I want to now find out angle. Sorry. Before that, let me find out magnitude. R magnitude is equal to under root x square plus y square. That is R into 1 plus 1 by root 2 whole square plus R into 1 plus 1 by root 2 whole square. So R magnitude, this is nothing but root 2 times R into 1 plus 1 by root 2. That is the final expression for magnitude. And what about the angle of that resultant? Tan theta is equal to y component divided by x component. Y component magnitude, x component magnitude is same. So tan theta will be equal to 1. Theta is equal to 45 degrees. Therefore, resultant vector is making an angle of 45 degrees with respect to x-axis. Like this, any vectors, any number of vectors can be given to you. Simply you need to check whether those vectors, they are in the x-axis or y-axis. If they are neither along x nor along y, you need to resolve that vector into components and write down the individual vectors, find out their sum so that you can get net vector. Right, students, in this given example, we have vectors A bar, B bar, C bar and D bar. A bar magnitude of these vectors are being given in the figure itself. Magnitude of A is equal to 1 unit. Magnitude of B is equal to 3 units. And magnitude of C is equal to 5 units. And magnitude of D is equal to 6 units. Right? These are the magnitudes of vectors given. Now, before solving this problem, let me take one. Let me explain one thing. This is a right angle triangle. Let me take one right angle triangle. This smaller side, I can take it as unit 3. This is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. Right? Smaller length of that is 3 units. Length of this O, A, and B. Length of OA is 4. Length of AB is 3. Length of OB is 5. If at all you have a right angle triangle, if its sides are 3, 4, 5, such that smaller length is 3 and hypotenuse is 5. In such cases, this angle, smaller angle of this triangle will be 37 degrees. And the larger angle is 57 degrees. And this is, however, 90 degrees. Okay. Now this is the fixed triangle with sides 3, 4, 5. If the sides are 3, 4, 5, then smaller angle is 37 degrees and the larger angle is 57 degrees and the other one is right angle. Now you can write down all these values. Check it up. Sine 37. What do you write? Sine 37. Sine 37 is opposite by hypotenuse, that is 3 by 5. What is cos 37? Cos 37 is equal to 4 by 5. Next, sine 53. What do you write for sine 53? Sine 53, sorry, 53. This is 53. I'm sorry. This is 53. Right. Sine 53, it is 4 by 5. And what about cos 53? Cos 53 is equal to 3 by 5. Next, tan 37. What is tan 37? Tan 37 is opposite by adjacent. It is 3 by 4. What about tan 53? Tan 53 is equal to 4 by 3. Right? These are the values which are being fixed. So whenever you are getting these values in the problems, directly you can substitute them. I will not again remind this. You need to remember these all angles so that you can directly substitute when we are solving problems. Now let us come to this problem. I will be representing all these vectors A bar, B bar, C bar and D bar individually. First, how do I write A bar? A bar is along x-axis. What is its length? 1. So it is 1 I cap because it is along x-axis. How do you write B bar? B bar, its magnitude is 3 and it is along y-axis. Therefore, I can write it as 3 j cap. Okay. Now, how can I write C bar? C bar can be simply written as x component and y component. X component, you can write it as magnitude of C into cos 37 I cap, and this is minus, plus magnitude of C into sine 37 j cap. So simply I am resolving this vectors into component. This vector into component, and this is C magnitude into cos 37. And this is C magnitude into sine 37. Likewise, C bar can be written as, what is magnitude of C? It is 5. 5 into, what is cos 37? Cos 37 is 4 by 5 I cap plus 5 Sine 37, 3 by 5 j cap. 5 and 5 gets cancelled. So C bar is equal to 4i plus, of course here minus 4i plus 3j, that is C bar. Now come to D bar. D bar, I can write it as x component and y component. X component is d cos 53, as it is negative along negative x-axis, minus. Similarly, this is downward, so it can be written as minus d sine 53. So d bar can be written as magnitude of minus cos 53 I cap minus d sine 53 j cap. So d bar is equal to minus of d magnitude is 6, cos 53 is 3 by 5 I cap minus 6 into sine 53 4 by 5 j cap. Okay, so d bar is equal to minus 18 by 5 I cap minus 24 by 5 j cap. So a bar, B bar, C bar and D bar, all those magnitudes we have calculated. This is A bar, this is B bar, and this is C bar, and this is D bar, right? I want to find out the resultant. How can you find out the resultant? So whenever you want to find out the resultant, simply you can write it as R bar is equal to all x components into I cap plus all y components into j cap. So all x components you can add them and all y components you can add them, so that you can find out net resultant vector, right? Now I'll do that over here. So R bar is equal to x-axis, along x-axis you have 1 A bar. Okay, so what is that? It is 1 unit. So I'll write it as x-axis 1. Next to B bar there is no x component. C bar there is x component minus 4. Next D bar there is x component minus 18 by 5, and this is I cap. Plus, coming to y components, A bar no y component, B bar it is 3, and C bar it is plus 3 and minus 24 by 5, and this is j. That is the resultant vector. So simply if you still want to resolve it, you can write it as minus 5. 1 minus 4 is minus 3. 5 3 is 15. Minus 15 minus 18 divided by 5. Right? 1 minus 4 is minus 3. 5 3 is 15. Minus 15 minus 18 I cap plus remaining is 3 plus 3 is 6. 5 6 30. 30 minus 24. 30 minus 24 is 6 by 5 j cap. So R is equal to this is 33 minus 33 by 5 I cap plus 6 by 5 j cap. This is the resultant vector. If you want to find out magnitude, I can write it as magnitude is equal to under root minus 33 by 5 whole square plus 6 by 5 whole square. This will be the final magnitude of the resultant vector. Right, students, let us solve one more problem, and this is also a very simple question. Here we have a car makes a displacement of 100 meter along east. It is traveling along east, and then 200 meter towards north. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector. You should find out magnitude and the direction. Now first car is making a displacement s bar, and let me take it as s1 because first displacement I am representing it with s1. How much it is? 100 meter towards east. 100 meter. As it is east, I should represent it with I cap because east is nothing but positive x-axis. So positive x-axis unit vector, I should represent it with I cap. That is S1. Next, S2. 200 meter towards north, that is 200 meter north, it is j cap. South is minus j, north is plus j. So S1 and S2. Find out the magnitude and resultant direction of the resultant. So resultant displacement. Resultant displacement S bar is equal to S1 bar plus S2 bar. Okay. So resultant displacement is equal. Most of the students, what you do when you are finding the resultant of, like when you get such type of question, when you find out the resultant 200 plus 100, you will write and answer is 300. But that is absolutely wrong. You cannot add those 200 plus 100 because they are in different directions. One is along east and the other one is along north. So S bar is equal to 100 I cap plus 200 J cap. This is in meter. That is the resultant vector. I want to now find out the magnitude of this. Magnitude of this vector is equal to under root whole square plus 200 whole square. I can take this is nothing but root 3 into 100. This is S magnitude and it is in meter. Now I want to find out direction with x-axis. Tan theta is equal to y component divided by x component. And tan theta can be simply written as, what is y component over here? 200. X component is 100. This is equal to 2. Theta is equal to tan inverse of 2. Right? This is angle made by the vector with x-axis.